board. I'm going to share with you guys my screen. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is the fact that we have an exam, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to play it, on Friday. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a test on Friday. It's obviously going to be online. I'm not going to be coming to your homes and in a hazmat suit and dropping off a sealed Ziploc bag on your porch. But it's going to open up at 11 a.m. It's on Test Wizard. I totally get it. Boo. I don't want to use Test Wizard for an assessment as well. But it will start at 11 a.m. It's not going to be like most homework assignments. It's going to close after 40 minutes. You'll have 35 questions. There will be 4 different versions to obviously, curtail you guys helping each other out. However, even though you can't, I'd prefer if you did not help each other out, highly prefer that. You still obviously can use your notes. I mean, I can't stop you from doing that, right? So you can obviously use your notes for that. It is a mixture of AP questions, Test Wizard, TC3, but really there's going to be some Regions Living Environment on there too. And it's not because I'm trying to give you guys easy cake questions to do real well on. It's actually a little bit different. I want to give you guys Regions questions because the Regions does a pretty good job of going over ecology. It actually does a fantastic job of going over ecology. So, and to be quite honest, you know what's happening here is I think what I'm going to do is you guys have these Test Wizards that are due for homework. And you guys don't have to get 100% of them correct or anything like that, but I do have these Test Wizards that you guys can do for homework. And I'll probably take some questions that people missed quite a bit and put them on there. Kind of not really to like punish people or trick people, but more of like a reward to help, for people who are going on and seeing what they got wrong. So if you do see questions that seem eerily familiar, don't be freaked out. But I think 35 multiple choice questions is a ton of time. 40 minutes is a ton of time for that. Okay, so if you guys have questions on the exam, this note section should go by really quick. So I'll finish that up. So, and then I'll take your questions that you guys might have. Oh, and another thing I forgot to say, and this is a huge, my bad, is I guess yesterday on Test Wizard, there were 2 assignments that were opened up. One was ecological succession, which I wanted you to do. The other one was human impact. I saw a couple people did it. If you did do it, that's fine, but you really didn't have to. It wasn't supposed to open up until Wednesday, so my bad on that. I have no idea what went wrong there. Okay, so today we're going over trophic levels, which this is going to be on page, I believe this is page 11 of your note packet. Oh God, it says ecosystems. That looks even worse. What do you call it? And it says trophic levels, kind of like in small levels on that page 11. There we go. But first, I'm going to see if my son's still around. I don't know. Hey, Matt. Matt. Oh my God, he's supposed to be on call, ready to go at any time. Are you coming, bud? Here you come. Here. Now, come here. Now, don't get nervous over here. There's only like 15 people watching. It's not that big of a deal. Oh. Okay, yes. So now here's what we got over here. So Matt took this test right here that we're looking at because he was taking a practice exam because guess what? Matt is going to be, well, he was supposed to be taking the 4th grade science test this year, right? So Matt did not get a bunch of questions wrong. He did really well. I think it's off the block. He does better in science than I did in school. But he did get this question wrong. Shame on you. He got this question wrong where it says, which organisms are producers? So Matt, do you know what a producer is? A plant. What does a producer do?
It produces food.
It makes its own food. Do you know what the process is? The process that plants use to make food?
It's why they're green.
It's why they're green. I know this is being recorded, but no, it's photosynthesis, you know? Photosynthesis. Yeah. So now, okay, but you know now that the answer should have been for question 11 that you got incorrect, unfortunately. What should the answer have been? Which one would be producers? It would be green plants. Very good. All right, well, we're good. I'll talk to you later. Good job. So, so that's a 4th grader. who knows that a producer, he didn't know the word photosynthesis. Now I'm going to make him kneel on driveway gravel for a half an hour later. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh my God, this is being recorded. Somebody will probably really record it. Can you shut the door up there? Thanks. All right, sorry about that. So again, so this is like fourth grade material. So I don't want you to take a look at this and be like, oh my God, I'm going on in the internet right now to watch a Zoom video for fourth grade material. It will be worth your while. But if you take a look, food webs are something that you guys have to be familiar with as well. So I don't give these definitions because my son, who's in fourth grade and all that, still knows this. He does not know the word autotrophs, but you should know the word autotrophs. We did see it in the cobalt chapter, and we did see it in the green chapter back in the day. Primary consumers are going to be herbivores. If you take a look at a food chain, they're the first thing to eat. They're the first thing to actually do eating. That's why they're called a primary consumer. A secondary consumer is going to be the second thing to eat. So they're going to be the carnivores. They're going to eat the herbivores. And then tertiary is like what we are. Like we eat carnivores, right? Like I'm sure somebody here is eating like alligator, right? Or something like that, something amazing like that. So you guys should be familiar with these terms. The next one is going to get a little bit fancier. Matt, I'm not going to call Matt down again, but Matt actually knows, he knows what the things are that consume dead plants and animals, but he's not going to know this word, and neither are you. The word is detritivore. I can see Alex Wilkinson and Maria Golden. They're the people that are in my thing over here. So I'm going to just click through, and I see Taylor Bushy now, and Kylie Snow, and Mike DeCurzio, and Austin McCarthy. So when they're done writing, I'm going to assume that you're done writing as well. So detritivores are the things that consume dead plants, animals. So you guys should be familiar with the word you're probably writing it. You're probably already writing it. I know it. Decomposers, which decomposers are going to be your bacteria and your fungi. They are going to break down dead organism. Now there's another group that will consume the dead as well. However, they're really kind of carnivores. They eat meat, yet they don't kill. So if they don't kill, but they will still eat meat, we call those a scavenger. And scavengers are what we see all the time around here. Turkey vultures, those big giant birds that are circling in the air, those are scavengers, and crows are obviously a great example of scavengers as well. So the word that they use is detritivores. I always think of the word detrimental. Detrimental sounds terrible, and if you're eating dead things, that just sounds terrible. That's what you're consuming. But scavengers and decomposers, real quick side story. I had a student once who was like, I know it's got nothing to do with well, it does have something to do with the slide. I had a student once who was telling me the story. He goes, my dad was driving to work in the middle of winter, and a deer ran out, and he smashed into the deer, and he killed it. I'm like, oh God, that sounds terrible. And he goes, wait, it gets worse. He then grabbed the deer and shoved it in the bed of his truck and covered it with snow to keep it cold. And then he went to work and worked a full day's work. And I'm like, okay. He's like, then he came home, and we skinned the deer, and we ate it. And I was like, oh God. And he's like, we ate roadkill. And I'm like, what? And he's like, we're scavengers. I'm like, no, your family's not scavengers. You're still a carnivore. You still hunted and killed the deer. Your weapon of choice was a car. It wasn't a gun, but you still killed the deer. So therefore, you're really considered a carnivore. Now, like I said, now if you're driving down the highway and you see like a dead raccoon and your dad's like, pile out, and you guys start eating it, then you're a scavenger. But since if you're eating meat that you actually killed, you're considered a carnivore. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys remember my Regions Guarantee. We talked about this when we talked about ribisco, which was an enzyme in plants. I told you that if something wasn't on the Regions, I would shave it into my head. And it was this right, not sure if you could see this, right in this area right here. It was the energy pyramid. The energy pyramid is on every single Regions, where you have your bottom layer, and then as you go up, you're getting less and less. So you have your producers down here, or we could say our autotrophs. We have our herbivores or primary consumers here, and we have our secondary consumers here. And there's less energy. And the big theme is there's less energy as you go up. And I can explain that to you in a second. But basically, that's the levels of energy. And you guys should have seen that in living environment, so it's not completely crazy. but it is something that shows up on the regions every single year. And they even try to make it difficult by putting these in here too. And I think you guys have a diagram in the bottom right-hand corner of your notes where you guys have something, you know, not with these cute little pictures. You don't have like the snakes and the wolves, but you guys have those lines coming out. And that line coming out, which you don't have to label, it's already labeled for you, is heat. And that's the reason why, if you take a look, it becomes thinner as you go up and doesn't stay the same as you go up. The reason is, oh, by the way, I love it when the regions does stuff like this. Like they're like, oh, it's an energy pyramid, and you can see that there's different layers inside of it. They just tried to make it not look like it, whatever. But here's how you can tell about the energy pyramid and why we get less energy as we go up. And you guys have this diagram too, which I love. And the reason why I love it is because it's marine based. If you take a look, like at the bottom, the producers are like, you know, phytoplankton, and then you have like your herbivores or snails. So it's like a marine environment, which we're not very familiar with. It would be a lot easier if we had things like, you know, grass, and then we had rabbits and we had wolves. But this is actually different because we don't live in the ocean, so we're not exactly familiar with it. But here's the reason why we end up with the triangle. I got a picture of Chick-fil-A right there. They're chicken strips, right? Some waffle fries, the Chick-fil-A sauce, always very nice. And then your beverage of choice that you have over here. Now that just looks absolutely fantastic, right? So maybe it's worth the drive to Cicero to get that. Well, here's the thing that you should know about these Chick-fil-A chicken strips. They have 310 calories, which isn't exactly the worst thing on the planet. I mean, 310 calories is not exactly gonna, you know, it's not like a Whopper or a Krispy Kreme donut that has, it's like a meal replacement, like it takes the place of an entire meal with the calories. But we have 310 calories, and the question you have to ask yourself is, if you eat those chicken strips, are you gonna keep every single calorie? And the answer is no. You're going to, if I go back to this, you're gonna burn the energy off as heat. So the wolf is never going to get all of that snake energy because of the fact that that snake is gonna take in energy and burn it off to the environment. So when you guys take a look at the food you guys bring in, whether you're eating plant material, waffle fries, or you're eating animal material, delicious, impeccable chicken strips, it doesn't make a difference. You can't keep all that energy. So if you walk out of your house and a lion eats you, it's never going to get every calorie that you ingested because you burn so much off. All right, so this part here is probably something you want to put a star next to. All right, and then guess what we're going to do?